Over 1,000 years ago, on a vast floodplain in the heart of Southeast Asia, a civilization built something that the modern world still cannot fully explain: the Khmer Empire. At its peak, the most powerful civilization in Southeast Asia raised temples of such extraordinary scale, such breathtaking beauty, and such profound spiritual intention that they remain to this day among the greatest architectural achievements in human history. Cambodia is not just a country with temples. Cambodia is a country that is temples, and today we visit the 10 most extraordinary ones. From the largest religious monument ever built, to a pyramid rising from deep jungle that almost nobody has seen, from pink sandstone carved with the finest detail in ancient art, to a cliff-edge temple that 3 countries have fought over for centuries. Stay till number 1, because it will change how you see not just Cambodia, but human civilization itself. We begin with something that most temple lists never include, because Nom Banh Chok is not just an ancient ruin, it is a living, breathing, actively worshipped sacred site, where history and devotion exist in the same breath. Located 55 kilometers south of Phnom Penh in Takeo Province, Nom Banh Chok sits on a forested hill reached by climbing 462 stone steps. Built in the 11th century by King Suryavarman I, before Angkor Wat was even imagined, the temple was originally dedicated to the Hindu god Shiva. Today, Cambodian families climb these same steps every weekend to light incense, offer prayers, and celebrate festivals exactly as their ancestors did 1,000 years before them. Ancient stone walls stand beside colorful Buddhist shrines. The smell of incense drifts through 11th century doorways. And from the summit, rice fields and lakes stretch to the horizon in every direction. This is what makes Nom Banh Chok extraordinary, not just its age, but the fact that it never stopped mattering to the people who live beside it. And before you leave, eat at the base of the temple steps. Local vendors sell Nom Banh Chok every morning, Khmer rice noodles with fresh green curry fish sauce. $1, the most honest breakfast in Cambodia. From the living temple, we travel back even further in time, to a civilization that existed 600 years before Angkor Wat was built. Angkor Thom in Kampong Thom province is Cambodia's oldest major temple complex. Built in the 7th century as the capital of the Chenla Empire, the direct predecessor to the Khmer Empire, it contains over 100 temple structures spread through dense forest. UNESCO recognized it as a World Heritage Site in 2017. What makes Angkor Thom visually unique is its octagonal towers, a design found nowhere else in Cambodian temple architecture, and carved into the stone, flying palaces, celestial beings, and mythological scenes of extraordinary sophistication for their era. This is where Cambodian civilization began, where the artistic and architectural traditions that would eventually produce Angkor Wat were first developed, tested, and refined. Walking through Angkor Thom is walking through the origin of everything Cambodia became. And when you are done, drive into Kampong Thom town and find any local restaurant serving kui tiv, Cambodian rice noodle soup. Clear broth, fresh herbs, bean sprouts, $2. The dish that has fed this province for centuries. And from Cambodia's oldest temple, we travel northwest to its most forgotten giant, Bantay Chmar. Built by King Jayavarman VII in the late 12th century, the same king who built the Bayun and Ta Prohm. This remote temple in Bantay Menchie province was once one of the largest and most important in the entire Khmer Empire. It has the same giant face towers as Bayon, the same vast scale as Angkor Thom, and a unique bas-relief of the multi-armed Avalokitesvara, a Buddhist deity found nowhere else in Cambodia. Today, Bantay Chmar sits in quiet, dignified solitude, 4 hours from Siem Reap. Almost no international visitors. The local community runs a homestay program that allows travelers to sleep in traditional Cambodian houses, eat home-cooked meals, and wake to the sound of monks chanting from the nearby pagoda. The scale of Bantay Chmar, when you finally arrive and stand before its towers, is overwhelming precisely because you had no idea it was coming. The world forgot this place, and its beauty is all the more extraordinary for it. Stay with a local family through the community-based tourism homestay. You will eat rice and freshwater fish and morning glory stir-fry and palm sugar desserts, cooked in a traditional Khmer wooden house by people who have lived beside this temple their entire lives. There is no restaurant in the world that can give you that. From the Forgotten Giant, we arrive at something that will stop you completely the moment you see it. Koh Ker, 127 kilometers northeast of Siem Reap, deep in the forests of Preah Vihear province, and rising from the jungle canopy, a 30-meter stepped pyramid of sandstone blocks that looks less like Cambodia and more like something from Central America. For a brief period in the 10th century, between 928 and 944 AD, Koh Ker was the capital of the entire Khmer Empire. King Jayavarman IV moved the seat of power here, built over 180 temple structures across the jungle, and constructed Bai Sach Chrouk, the pyramid, as the symbolic center of his empire and the universe itself. Then the capital moved back to Angkor, and the jungle slowly, silently reclaimed everything. Today, the pyramid stands completely intact, and you can climb to its summit for a view over an unbroken sea of jungle that stretches further than you can see in any direction. The Khmer Empire, at its peak, owned all of this. Every tree, every river, every horizon. Hire a tuk-tuk from Siem Reap and combine Koh Ker with Bang Melia in a single day. Climb the pyramid in the morning before the heat arrives, and at any restaurant along the way, order lok lak, Cambodian stir-fried beef with compot pepper, lettuce, tomato, and fried egg, the dish that has defined Khmer cuisine for generations. $4. Order it without hesitation. And from the jungle pyramid, we arrive at the temple the jungle won completely, Bang Melia, 65 kilometers east of Siem Reap, built in the 12th century at the same time as Angkor Wat. Same architectural style, similar scale, but never restored, never excavated, never returned to order. The jungle simply grew into it. Silk cotton trees sent their roots through the galleries. Strangler figs wrapped themselves around the towers. Stone corridors collapsed under the weight of centuries of growth. And today, visitors walk on wooden boardwalks above a temple that nature has been slowly, beautifully consuming for 800 years. No scaffolding, no restoration tape, no reconstructed walls. Bang Melia is exactly what every ancient temple looked like before archaeologists arrived. Raw, atmospheric, and overwhelmingly alive with the forest that claimed it. And because it sits 65 kilometers from the main Angkor circuit, most tourists never make the journey. Their loss is your discovery. Go at 7:30 a.m. when the gates open. On a weekday morning, you may have Bang Melia almost entirely to yourself. And at any restaurant near the entrance, order Amok Trey, Cambodia's national dish. Fresh fish curry steamed in banana leaf with coconut milk and lemongrass. $4. The most Cambodian meal you will eat all day. From deep jungle, we rise to the most dramatically located temple in all of Southeast Asia, Preah Vihear. Perched on the edge of the Dang Grek escarpment, 525 meters above the Cambodian plain, this UNESCO World Heritage Temple stretches 800 meters along the cliff edge between Cambodia and Thailand. It has been a sacred site for over 1,000 years. Built gradually between the 9th and 12th centuries by successive Khmer kings, Preah Vihear was dedicated to Shiva, the great destroyer and creator of Hindu cosmology. The processional approach follows the natural ridge of the escarpment, rising through 5 ceremonial gateways, each one more elaborate than the last, until you reach the main sanctuary at the cliff's highest point. And from that point, the view. The entire northern lowland of Cambodia spread below you like a living map. Rice fields, rivers, forests, villages, all of it visible from a temple built 1,000 years ago by people who understood that the most sacred place must also be the most beautiful. Go early. The plain below fills with morning mist, and the view becomes something you will spend the rest of your life trying to describe. And on the road up to the summit, stop for grilled squid from the roadside vendors. Ang de Tre Muk, skewered, charcoal grilled, eaten with sweet chili sauce while looking at the most extraordinary view in Cambodia. $1, completely unforgettable. From the dramatic cliff, we arrive at something completely different, something small, something so extraordinarily detailed that you will stand in front of it and simply not believe it is real. Amok Trey, the Citadel of Women, 38 kilometers north of Siem Reap, built in the 10th century, not by a king, but by a Brahmin scholar and royal counselor named Yajnavalkya, and the difference shows in every single stone. Because Amok Trey was built from pink sandstone, a softer, more workable material than the gray sandstone of Angkor, its craftsmen were able to carve with a delicacy and precision that no other Khmer temple has ever equaled. The Devata figures that line the walls are so perfectly proportioned, their expressions so subtly animated, their jewelry so precisely rendered, that they look less like stone carvings and more like photographs of real women frozen in pink stone. French archaeologists who rediscovered the temple in 1914 called it the jewel of Khmer art. After more than a century, nobody has found reason to disagree. Arrive at 8 a.m. The morning sun turns the pink sandstone the color of warm honey. Spend at least 90 minutes. Every surface rewards close attention. And on the way back to Siem Reap, stop at any local restaurant for Krung fish curry, Cambodian yellow curry paste, lemongrass, galangal, turmeric, kaffir lime, cooked with fresh river fish, a dish that has been eaten in this region for centuries. $4. Order it without hesitation. From the jewel of Khmer art, we enter the temple that nature chose to make its own. Angkor Thom, built in 1186 CE by King Jayavarman VII as a monastery and university, home to over 12,500 people at its peak, including 615 dancers and 18 high priests. A city, not just a temple. At the height of the Khmer Empire, Angkor Thom was one of the wealthiest and most important religious institutions in all of Southeast Asia. Then the empire declined, the people left, and the jungle, patient, relentless, indifferent, moved in. Silk cotton trees sent their roots through the gallery walls. Strangler figs wrapped their arms around the towers. And over 800 years, roots and stone grew so completely together that separating them now would destroy both. The decision was made to leave Angkor Thom exactly as the jungle made it, and the result is one of the most atmospheric, most emotionally powerful places in the world. Standing in the narrow stone corridors with roots wider than a house growing through the walls above you and morning mist drifting between the trees, you feel the weight of time in a way that no history book can prepare you for. Arrive at 7:30 a.m. The first hour is the most magical. Morning light filters through the canopy in ways that completely disappear by 9 a.m. And before you enter, stop at any local market near the temple gates for Bai Sach Chrouk, grilled pork over broken rice, $1.50. The breakfast that monks and farmers and temple workers have eaten here every morning for generations. And from the temple the jungle claimed, we enter the Temple of Faces. Bayon, standing at the exact center of Angkor Thom, the great walled capital city of the Khmer Empire, this extraordinary temple was built in the late 12th century by King Jayavarman VII, and it contains 216 giant stone faces, smiling in every direction from 54 towers that rise above the jungle canopy. Who are these faces? After more than a century of debate, scholars believe they represent the Bodhisattva Avalokitesvara, the Buddhist deity of compassion, merged with the features of King Jayavarman VII himself, a king who wanted to watch over his empire from every direction simultaneously, whose smile, serene, knowing, slightly mysterious, has been called the Mona Lisa of Southeast Asia. In the morning mist, before the crowds arrive, the faces of Bayon emerge slowly from the gray light, one face at first, then another. Then suddenly you realize they are everywhere, above you, beside you, looking down from towers you had not noticed, and every face is slightly different from the others, every smile slightly individual. 216 faces, and somehow each one feels like it is looking directly at you. Go at 7 a.m. The morning mist between the towers creates a visual experience that photographs cannot capture, and outside the Angkor Thom gates, from 6 until 9 in the morning, Women carry baskets of Nom Banh Chok, handmade rice noodles with fish-based green curry gravy. $1. Eat before you enter. The faces will still be smiling when you arrive. I saved Angkor Wat for last. Not because it is the most hidden, not because it is the least visited. I saved it for last because after everything we have seen, after the jungle pyramids and the cliff-edge temples and the faces in the mist, I want you to see Angkor Wat the way it deserves to be seen. Not as a checkbox, not as a photograph, but as what it actually is. The largest religious monument ever built by human hands. 400 acres of jungle, moat, causeway, galleries, and towers. Constructed in the early 12th century by King Surya Varman II and dedicated to the Hindu god Vishnu, a single building project that took an estimated 300,000 workers and 40 years to complete. The 5 towers represent Mount Meru, the home of the gods in Hindu cosmology. The moat represents the cosmic ocean. The causeway crossing it represents the rainbow bridge between the human world and the divine. Every measurement, every alignment, every proportion in Angkor Wat encodes a cosmological statement about the relationship between Earth, heaven, and the king who stood at their meeting point. On the spring equinox, the sun rises in perfect alignment with the central tower, a feat of astronomical precision achieved without modern instruments, without computers, without anything but the accumulated knowledge of a civilization at the absolute peak of its power. And the bas-reliefs, 800 meters of continuous narrative carving along the outer gallery walls, depicting the churning of the cosmic ocean, the battle of Kurukshetra, the heavens and hells of Hindu theology, in a level of detail and artistic sophistication that makes every other ancient bas-relief in the world look like a rough sketch. Angkor Wat has been visited by millions of people, photographed billions of times, and it is still capable of stopping you completely the first time you stand before the reflection pool at 5:30 in the morning and watch the 5 towers rise from the dark water as the sky behind them turns from black to purple to gold. Arrive at 5:15 a.m., stay for at least 4 hours, walk the full outer gallery, climb to the upper sanctuary, come back at sunset, come back the next morning. Angkor Wat rewards time above everything, and after, in any restaurant in Siem Reap, eat amok, fish or chicken in coconut curry steamed in banana leaf, the dish that has been served in this region since the Angkor period, and finish with palm sugar sweets from the vendors near the temple gates, harvested from the sugar palms that grow throughout the Angkor landscape. Sweet, caramel-like, completely unique to this place. This is not just a temple. This is proof of what human beings are capable of when they believe in something completely. And Cambodia built it, and Cambodia kept it, and it is waiting for you. 10 temples, 1,000 years of human civilization concentrated into a landscape that covers less than the area of a small country. From Phnom Chisor's living prayers to Sambor Pray Cook's 7th century origins. From Bante Chmar's forgotten giants to Kokhare's jungle pyramid. From Bung Milia's roots and stone to Preah Vihear's cliff-edge sky. From Bante Sray's pink perfection to Ta Prohm's jungle dreams. From Bayan's 216 smiles to the greatest temple the world has ever seen. Cambodia did not just build temples. Cambodia built an argument, made in stone, made to last, that beauty and devotion and human ambition, when they work together, can produce something that 1,000 years of jungle and war and time cannot destroy. These temples are waiting for you. Plan your visit. Go with time, because Cambodia's temples do not reward rushing. They reward presence, and they will give you something in return that you will carry for the rest of your life. I will see you in the next one.